All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all those of you that are joining us for the School of Wisdom. I am just so delighted to have all of you with us. I was out on the road, but I had to let the folks know we were very far away, but I had to let them know I've got my class to go to. And so I am just so excited every afternoon to be able to come on this platform and to be able to bring to us, those of us that are very serious about our quest for wisdom. I am just so happy to be able to come and to be able to share with all of you. Now, I just need to take a moment to see how many people are present, because I told you already I am a very timely person. I am prompt. I don't like to be late. And so if I tell you it's going to be 5, then 5 o'clock it's going to be. That's why we give 5 minutes grace, 5 minutes before the hour, so that folks can log on, and then at 5 o'clock that we are able to go. I don't know if you're excited as I am, but people, I'm letting you know I am very excited about this journey. How many of you that we have on here that will be able to say, Apostle, I am just so excited about this journey in wisdom? And I want to share an illustration with you. Just before I start the class, I would just like to acknowledge all those of you that are so prompt, you're on time. Because if there's class and it starts at 5, anytime after 5, you are late. You can't be marked as present, as it were. So that's why I ask you to come and to mark yourself present as you come. So I see Bobby Rafter is present, Katina is present, Renz Valderrama waking up early in Japan to be in class, Roberta Sinak, we are just so glad to have you, Judith Joseph, an ardent student, Bless Rewrite is with us, Beverly John Baptist, she's present, Gladys is always present, Muriel Joseph is, and Ashley Estrada Ministries is, I am here present there. Athenia John Lewis, good afternoon, you are present. Jacqueline Jin Brown is present. Augustina Defoe is present. Joan Brown, and who else I've got there? That's Mackin present. My wife, Marcia Estrada, is present, because she is also a student. And when I am not able to make it, she becomes a teacher. And I want to be able to pour so much into many of you that I want you. Oh yeah. Okay, I thought I had a wrong connection there. I want to point to so many of you that I want some of you to come to the place where you are going to be able to do a class. Amen? Amen. Listen, there's going to be a lot on this thing, people. So we want you to step up to the plate. We want you to be learning well and applying what you are learning to your life. Charlene Henley, good morning, good afternoon there. So good to have you. Cracker, an ardent student. God bless you. Curtis Thomas, is also Cheryl Angle, Loveth Loader, Terry Bridges, Flora Watty, God bless you. Ingrid Mason, she's always there. Utilda Collymore, Jennifer Jeffers is on. Karen Winston, oh, my wife is talking about what she learned, because I'm going to ask you all. I don't know about you, but I love chapter 12 of Proverbs. My wife and I, we were talking about so many things we highlighted in Proverbs chapter 12. I don't know how many of you that there were so many things that stood out to you that you just had to highlight so many of them. I think it might take us a while to go through chapter 12. Just some of the things that we are pulling from it there. Oh, but you are in chapter 11, honey. We're in chapter 12. But you are sharing, and let me read what she put there. She said, people lose their way without wise leadership, but a nation succeeds and stands in victory when it has many good counselors to guide it. And that is just so very true. My daughter Elizabeth in Japan is there with us, and Sherry Coffee is there. My amazing daughter Joylette Hudson over there in Bedford, she's not missing that, because she has a lot of responsibility on her shoulders and she needs this class. Thank you so much. Linda Thompson, God bless you. Good to have you. Wilbert Willis, Jacqueline Teresa, God bless you. Good to have you. Shannon Gilliam, we are just so glad to have you present. Joseph Angle, Valencia, Connie Grant, Coalition Hall, who else? Natasha Bridgewater Gums there, Marilyn Erskine, N.G. Grell, and Muriel has Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4. Oh, Muriel, I have that highlighted. This is going to be my second nugget that I'm going to be sharing with us there. Let me just see who else I've got before I move on. Terry Bridges, Barbara Donnerstag, and am I missing anybody? Miranda, God bless you. Karen Winston, and I'm not seeing Wisdom and Faith. Oh, Lily, where are they? Brenda Cunningham, God bless you there so very much. And Bobby Rafter says, for her verse is 12:19. Truthful words will stand the test of time, but one day every lie will be seen for what it is. Steph, so good to have you, my dear. God bless you. I know when you go to Italy, it's going to be late, but you will still be able to do the class there. Tonya Patrick, Agustina, John Baptist, Tessa Harper, and Zamor. Good to have you there, my dear. Joanne Vanterpool, lovely Lydia. Christina Webster is with us. I've got there. And who else I've got? I think I've something got moved there. Carl Morris. Chapter 12. That my wife quoted wrongly. It's chapter 12. What she put there. And Jacqueline Forbes. Yeah, people are talking about that. I moved out of the screen, so I lost some of you, and all those of you on YouTube. I want to say welcome. So very good to have you. Now let me say this as we proceed into our class for today. I was here setting up for the class. I'm putting all of the devices together because I have 7 devices that I have to be using when we are doing these programs. Yes, 7 devices, all right? 4 iPads, 2 iPhones, and 1 large screen. These are the things we have to do. And then I have to go on the switcher board because switcher change the way they allow you to come on. You could have programmed it and just go direct. But now every time that you are coming on, you have to go through the whole process. And at the beginning, because Prophet Troy had to show me how to be able to do it, and I had to write it down before. Okay, Faith Olele is there with us. Okay, and Stefania is putting her own there. All of you that are putting it, because I want you to take this very seriously. But back to what I was talking about there. Now I no longer need the paper. I could practically do that with my eyes closed. When we first got Switcher, I knew nothing about it. We had to depend on my son, Jesse, and if he had ever strike on us, we would not know what to do. But you know what? I learned how to do it when Jesse could no longer do it, people. And then I just became a pro. And I'm there doing it today, folks. I see you, Charlene, your verses there. I knew it was going to generate a lot of interest from you about the verses in chapter 12. Folks, the illustration I'm using is applicable to wisdom. If you stick with wisdom, you are going to get to a point in your life, in your experiences, when wisdom becomes second-hand nature to you there. That you become versed in the application of wisdom. Because let me just give you a layman's definition for wisdom. Wisdom is basically knowing what to do, how to do it, and the time to do it there. That's basically what it is. Because for every situation that you find yourself in, you need to know the when, the how, and the timing. That is what that's going to make the difference for you. And I'm simply saying to you, if you keep on this journey, you are going to do well. You are going to become amazed, because this thing, this journey, this quest that we are going after is something that is very real. Yesterday, I shared with you how I see the operation, the manifestation in my life, because all of these years, it's all right, Patricia, and you could always go back and get what you missed there. This is what I'm saying. All of these years that I've been after wisdom, teaching on it, keeping on that journey, let me tell you something. It had to pay off. It will continue to pay off, because wisdom says, those that love me will find me, and they will enjoy a quality of life that those who neglect and reject wisdom will never be able to enjoy. So let me just share that with you before I go to verse 1 of chapter 12. There's a quality of life that is coming to you. And N.G. Grell, I love that one. You know, I've been reading Proverbs for almost 50 years. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Some of you are just starting off. So be patient with yourself, okay? Be patient with yourself. But I love this one when it says, a man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. Why should you want wisdom? Right there. Verse 8. You are going to be commended for your what? For your wisdom. But you're going to be despised for your folly, your foolishness, and your lack of wisdom. So let's get into today's lesson. All of what I'm sharing with you is part of the lesson. I want you to know that. But we are getting to those nuggets that we want to be able to look into. Let's look at verse 1 there. Let's look at verse 1. And if for any reason, people, you cannot make it on any given day because of some schedule, please go back, because it's always there for you to be able to watch. It's always there. So if you are that serious, I know that you are going to get back to the program and be able to look at it. Listen to what it says in verse 1. That's the first nugget that I want to share with you. It says, to learn the truth, you must long to be teachable. To learn the truth about wisdom. You want to find out the truth about wisdom? It says you must first long to be what? To be teachable. And in the comment section, that's why sometimes you need to go back there, and wherever you see that little circle there, just touch it there and it will take you to the comments. It says there are times when even the wise need correction, but they will appreciate its value. You know, it's a fool that despise correction. Oh, there is so much on this thing as it relates when it talks about the wise will give heed to rebuke, but the fool will not pay any attention. They will go headlong into their folly and pay for it. If you want wisdom, hear me please, you have to learn to be teachable. And there's someone on the class today that I admire so very, very much. Wisdom Hulele says she wants to be teachable. Now that's going to take humility. And I'll come to some things with you about that in just a while. But back to the person that I'm talking about. Someone on this program that, you know, I observed them before I said it to them. But their teachableness causes them to grow by leaps and bounds. They are accelerating because they don't put up that attitude. Well, I know this, I know that. Are you listening to me? They're quick to accept the counsel, the wisdom that's being given to them. And when I see people like that, I know that they're on a path to greatness. Because in order to be teachable, wisdom says that you have to be humble. God resisteth the proud, but he gives what? Grace to the humble. And let me say that. Yeah, I saw that in you too, Wilbert Willis. I saw that in you the time that I met you. And that's why I say to people, and I'm trying to get that across to people, what wisdom is going to do for you, how wisdom is going to sharpen your sense of discernment. My goodness, I meet people and I just size them up so quickly. I pick them up in the spirit. Wisdom will make you sharp people. How many of you want to be sharp? These are all the benefits. I kid you not about this thing, you know. It surprises me sometimes. And it's frightening. Because some people ask you, how do you know? Don't mess with me. Are you listening to me? And when there are those of us that get so hungry for wisdom, wisdom is going to make you so sharp that people would not be able to pull the blinders over your eyes. Wisdom causes you to see in the dark. Now, you know you can't see in the dark unless you have night goggles, night vision that they use for armies there. But if man can do that with an invention, guess what wisdom will do for you? Now let me say this. At the beginning, and I want you to hear this, at the beginning, you might not like the correction, because the Bible tells us in the book of Hebrews that no correction is joyous. None. Anybody, I'm going to say something there, and you don't try to make me believe that it's not so. Nobody really likes correction because your flesh always wants to rebel. You feel hurt, your pride is hurt. Who do they think they are? But I didn't think it necessitated having to correct me there. But if you are serious about wisdom, you've got to long to be teachable. And can I share something with you? This is totally different to the morning's program. Okay, what you are hearing out there, that's thunder. It was raining a while ago. Florida is the land of lightning and thunder. So don't let that frighten you and wonder if my wife is tearing things apart here. No, it's not her. She doesn't do that. Back to what I'm saying. I got such a sharp memory. I don't forget what I'm saying. Back to what I'm saying. If there are folks that are asking me to mentor them, to teach them, and I realize that they don't have a teachable spirit, I'm gone. I'm out of there. I am serious. I've had to come to that place in my life in dealing with people. Because if you are not teachable, you're not going to learn. Because you'll feel you know everything. You'll feel that I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, I know that. I'm out of here. Go find somebody else to mentor you. Go find somebody else to teach you. Because you want wisdom, you have to long. Not just want, but you have to long to be teachable. The same way that you have a longing for wisdom, you must have a longing to be teachable. Hear what the next line says. I like to spend more time on the positive than on the negative, because the next line is a negative. The first one is a positive. It says, I have to go back to the first one to help you to understand the second one. It says, to learn the truth, you must long to be teachable, or you can despise correction and remain ignorant. People, ignorance, is not cheap. Very expensive. Very costly. Isaac, good to see you, my brother. Ignorance. Oh my God. Ignorance. I mean, even in the United States, I am sure it's costing trillions of dollars. The damage that ignorance can cause. They should do a movie on ignorance. Ignorance, not cheap. And none of us should ever want to be ignorant. We should be afraid of ignorance. Ignorance is going to cost you. So if you are not teachable, you'll never learn, never become a student of wisdom. And you're going to pay a dear price. And I'm in look, Karen is putting it up there. You're pulling it from my mouth, Karen. Ignorance can break up friendship, cost you friendships, cost you family members being together. Ignorance. And in chapter 12, you're going to see something there. Oh my God. I just laughed at it when I saw it. We'll deal with it, but I need to read it. I need to read this one to you. This is so powerful. I mean, I'm just giving you a little taste for later on, not today. But in verse 23, it says, those who possess wisdom don't feel the need to impress others with what they know. But foolish ones make sure their ignorance is on display. Don't you come across that all the time, people? Where it's like there's a show for ignorance. You never find a show for wisdom, because wisdom is not boastful. I want you to understand that there. It says those who possess wisdom don't feel the need to impress others with what they know, but foolish ones make sure their ignorance is on display. So somebody who is trying to portray themselves as being so wise, really and truly, ignorance is reigning in their lives. So let's get back to Joseph Angon says all the time, he sees it. And I'm sure that many of you, if you see it, let me know about that, people, because it surely is on display all the time. But let's go on now. Oh my goodness. This one is going to take us to the end of the lesson for today. We are going to be dealing just with 2 nuggets today. This is verse 4. And I would have loved my wife to be on this one with me. But when I'm traveling and I can't make the class or something comes up, then she will be doing it. But here it is, people. I should have left more time for this one. It says the integrity and strength of a virtuous wife. Alexander Willis, welcome. The integrity and strength of a virtuous wife. Oh, Joylet, that was your verse. Yeah, I love that too. The integrity and strength of a virtuous wife transforms her husband into an honored king. But the wife who disgraces her husband weakens the strength of his identity. This is loaded, people. This right here is loaded. When it says that the integrity and strength of a virtuous wife, who is a virtuous wife? We are told that the Hebrew word that is used here is an amazing word. It is more commonly used to describe what? Warriors, champions, and mighty ones. Are you that kind of a wife? And you don't even have to be a wife yet to be that kind of a person, because you don't become that when you get married. You are that entering into the relationship. That's what you are bringing to it there. That you are what? You are a warrior. You are a champion. You are a mighty one. Those of you that are married, go ahead and declare that about yourself, because it says the integrity and strength of a virtuous wife. Proverbs chapter 31. Read that about that. That's what it's talking about when it talks about the virtuous woman, that she's a warrior, she's a champion, she's a mighty one. That's why she can take care of her family. That's who my wife is. Oh my goodness. And every husband ought to be able to say that about their wife. That she's a champion, she's a warrior, she's a mighty one. She knows how to fight for her family. And let me go on. It says many translations read an excellent wife, but the meaning of the Hebrew word shayil is better translated an army that is wealthy, strong, mighty, powerful, with substance, valiant, virtuous, or worthy. This is what wisdom is saying to you women, that you are going to become. Val, bless you. I want you ladies that are on. You might not be married. All right. You might not even want to get married. But you need to post there and say, I am strong. I am wealthy. I am mighty. I am powerful with substance. I am valiant. I am virtuous. I am worthy. Hey, that's who you are. When you are endowed with wisdom, that's who you become. And so, hear me please, you are not cheap. Don't let any man cheapen you. You are a woman of substance. You are powerful. Jesus. You have substance to you in your person and with material. That's who you are. And I want you to know that and believe that so much about yourself. My goodness, if you ever get hold of this thing, of what wisdom is saying you're going to become, because the whole book of Proverbs is about wisdom. So all the verses that you are coming across there, it's wisdom that's speaking. Do you understand that? So the integrity and strength of a mighty, powerful, virtuous, substantial woman transforms her husband into an honored king. This is another rendering. It says, an excellent wife is the crown of her husband. By indication, her dignity makes him a king. Read Proverbs chapter 31. Because of this wise woman, her husband was exalted in the gate. Who are you making a king? You ought to be telling yourself. That's right, Gladys. I love that there. I love that there. She says, my sons tell me they want their wife to be as strong and virtuous as I am. If your sons cannot say, I want a wife like you, you ain't doing a good job. Yeah, you heard me. You are not doing a good job. As a matter of fact, some of you need to ask your sons, would you marry a woman like me? Would you marry somebody like me? That's why, Augustine, if it's freezing a little bit, don't worry, it will come back up there. We will end in a while so that we get rid of that. And if it keeps freezing, then go back and watch it. It would not freeze on the replay. Jacqueline Fobb says, I am not cheap there. You all need to put that for you too. I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap there. Amen. So let's go on. You see, when you are a woman of a virtuous woman, then by virtue of being that kind of a woman, you are going to transform your husband into an excellent person. Because you look good, you are going to make him look good there. Let me go on to the last line there. It says, but the woman or the wife who disgraces her husband weakens the strength of his identity. You know what that means? And I am reading the comment there. It says, or she is like cancer in his bones. Bones are a metaphor for inner being or our identity. I want you to stop a while there, and I want you to think about this. It says, but the wife who disgraces her husband weakens the strength with you. Let me share that. There are many relationships that have been destroyed because of a lack of wisdom. It wasn't money problem. It wasn't sex, but it was a lack of wisdom. Doesn't Proverbs chapter 14 tells us that the wise woman builds her house, but the what? But the foolish tears it down with her hands. Some of you women ought to be put in there. I am a builder, not a destroyer. I am what? I am a builder and not a destroyer. I see it frozen right here on YouTube. Okay, I think we are getting back. Wrap things up here. It says the wife who disgraces her husband. And it's one thing to do it in private. It's another thing when you do it publicly. And I have seen that where wives have humiliated their husbands in public, make them look small, disgrace them. So here the Bible is saying, when you disgrace your husband, you weaken the strength of his identity. And it says you are like cancer in his bones, one of the worst forms of cancer. In his bones, that's what you become. And when you do that, you kill his ego, his ability to rise. But when you operate in wisdom, you build that man up. You say, look at you, my mighty man. I'm so glad that I married you. Look at you, you hunk of a man. He might be thin like my finger, but you big him up there. Because men are moved by their ego. I'm glad some of you are coming up there and saying that. Love F. Loda, Elizabeth Valenzuela, talking about their sons. Tell them that they would love. And that's a testament to your wisdom. Your wisdom there. So I know some people are saying it's breaking up. If you are missing anything, go back and you will hear it again, because you do not want to miss this thing there. I wish I could spend some more time on this thing there. But be a builder. Be a builder. Let wisdom build you up. And when she does, like I've always been saying, people will gravitate to you. You will attract the right kind of people. Because if the undesirables try to come into the crowd, you'll be able to spot them. You'll be able to discern them and be able to tell them, this group is not for you. So go after it there. Read this thing over and over again there. Better yourself. Be serious about this thing, about wisdom. If your husband is saying some things to you, listen to what he says. Don't just step it aside. And sometimes, ladies, can I say this to you? Sometimes you need to ask your husband, how can I be a better wife to you? Wisdom will help you to do that. Because some of them want to say some things to you, but they're afraid you blow up. They're afraid you go into a corner and begin to sulk. You're not saying much, and so on there. But if you are serious about this wisdom thing we're talking about, go to them and ask them, honey, you know, I'm doing a course online here. Tell them you're doing a course online. And ask them, you know, our professor, our sensei, you could ask your children to. Ask us to go to our spouse, to go to our children, and ask them, how can I be a better wife, a better mother, a better woman? And listen to what they have to say. If they tell you, well, I'm glad that you are bringing this up because I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how to tell you. Since you are bringing it up, let me tell you. And don't be offended if they tell you those kind of dresses you just be wearing in the house. You need to change that. This kind of hairstyle that you're having. Peter Quamoy, how is now you coming up? You need... if they tell you these nappy hairstyles that you just keep coming up with there, I don't like it. Because you were liking it all the time, but you never ask him. Don't disgrace your husband. Don't disgrace your husband, but strengthen his identity. Because let me tell you this. You all have so much power, but in the wrong channel, it can destroy us. I've preached this and said it a number of times. You have the power to make us or to break us. I'm just not going to let any woman break me. If you can help make me, I will accept it, but you're not breaking me. But yet, you have that ability. You women, God chose you to liken wisdom to. So make him proud and say, yes, Lord, I will represent you well. Wisdom, I will represent you well. If you are single, and I'm ending now, you should be so full of wisdom that men, real men, true men, will line up to have an audience with you. So I leave this with you. Some of you are married. Make yourself better, because wisdom is available to you to make you better. I trust today's lesson was a blessing to you. And if for any reason you missed any part of it, you were not there from the beginning, go back and listen to it again there. May you take those nuggets and apply them to your life. God bless you. It was good sharing with you today. Until tomorrow, the Lord willing, when we come back with another class there. Join us then. Until then, bye-bye, and God bless you richly, richly. See you then. Bye-bye.